What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tilt City here on the FSI YouTube channel. Like and subscribe because I always forget, so I'm just going to rip that band-aid off now. Like and subscribe to the FSI page below, yada, yada, yada. This is Tilt City. I'm Alex Hooper, joined by Tom Stoss. Buddy, I want to start to kind of streamline the beginning of the show a little bit more. So I'm just going to ask you right off the rip, what took you to Tilt City this weekend?
What got me there was Manchester City completely waking up in that second half there, and I did not run anybody from them at all. I just figured it would be a sleeper for them, and I mean it was all over the place, so I don't know what I would have done, but that was definitely it.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming. I figured I actually ran one GPP line, didn't put a lot of time or thought into it, and just kind of scripted for 0-0 in that game just because I figured we would get a defensive battle. And for a while we did. And then, Gundo skies that PK. But that kind of carried over.
Got bad.
Yeah, right.
He got in, he just went Super Saiyan on him. And everyone else did too. But
he tilted a little bit. He had a lot of people tilting, I know that. I know there are a lot of 1-0 scripts with him in the captain spot.
Okay.
And so when he misses that first one, but then the second one goes in, and you think maybe there's a chance again, and then it got wild. My trip to Tilt City came later today. It's happening right now because these matches aren't even finished, but they're not really going to matter. And by the time they wrap up, we'll get there. Chelsea, I think it actually just wrapped up 2-1.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Chelsea beat Sheffield, but the Rudiger own goal was the thing mainly because so I don't play keepers. Like I really curbed my keeper play, like in showdowns, especially like cash showdowns. I don't do it because it's not a terribly optimal play. Today I was like, it's Sheffield, like I can get away with it. The pricing kind of lends itself to it, whatever. And of course there's going to be an own goal there. And again, I played Mateo Kovacic instead of like paying up to get Jorginho in the PK and punting the second spot or, my last guy in. And of course you get a Jorginho PK. So yeah, Chelsea, as they do, seeing as I'm a Spurs fan, sending me to Tilt City today. The other one was, and we'll get into it here in a little bit, but I had Ademola Lookman in my Saturday cash lineup and I pulled him and he went off.
Yeah, right.
It ended up being okay in a lot of ways, but let's get to it. So earlier in the week we made sure to get some free contests going. And so let's see. I beat you in the early one. The difference here looks like what? Silva and Lookman to Barnes and Robinson. Oh no, you had Nacho here. Man, how did you not beat me? Oh, Sterling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what it was. Silva. Those were. I don't know what I was thinking. He was cheap, but like, yeah.
I don't think that's an issue though. Really, like that's a different way. Fulham's going to give up goals. Burnley, has a good defense, and so like getting to Barnes and Nacho, like that's not a bad idea. I don't think it was a what was I thinking situation. Silva on the wing is cheap. I
guess the Barnes is more of the issue here than anything else.
Yeah,
it ate up a lot of space.
Sure. Yeah, you have a goal dependent guy and a goal dependent guy between Sterling and Barnes. So really, I just got that right. But you also had another goal dependent guy here. You got the 2 assists. Yeah, I think those were 2 ways to go with that lineup. I don't think there's anything wrong with your lineup. I just got the goal.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I'm always going to beat myself up, man. Hey, it's Tilt City. Part of the tilt is me. Oh.
Yeah, I got you. No, man, it's not a bad lineup. All right, later in the day, again, I got you by just a little bit. And yeah, this one, you didn't have Nacho in this one, and that would have made a difference. You went
this is the full day, right? Yeah.
Right.
Which is, I could like, it was so funny that like, I made room for him there, but like, I just waited all day to put in El Ghazi. Thanks, buddy. I believed in you all day long.
That's how I was today, man. I really got by the late lineup, and this might have kind of been the same thing. You did get the Suchek goal.
Sure did.
You managed not to dodge it this time because of me.
Yeah, my Suchek sense is I'm locking it in because I didn't run him over the weekend ones. And
Tommy time.
Yeah, it and it was a better call because he pulled in that red card, man. Oh,
That
oh,
awful elbow, that
oh.
horrible, violent elbow he threw.
I'm getting out of the streets after this. It's time for justice. Thomas's unite, man. Let's go.
That's rough. That was a rough give. But my favorite part about that is like now for the next two matches, I can be like, I don't have to spend that time being like, do I need to make a Suchek GPP line? Like, do I have to do it?
Yeah.
So it saved me that time. So thanks. I think it was Mike Dean, like it always is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went Nacho. I got that goal. You went El Ghazi, and that was tilting.
Anti-goal.
Right. Yeah. You punted Suunchu and I went Cancelo, and I barely benefited from that. So that was a nice little move there.
Yeah.
Double punt. Sometimes it gets you there, sometimes it doesn't, but like it usually doesn't completely screw you. So I don't hate that ever. But yeah, I just got you. I got that Cresswell. I didn't even want to play Cresswell. I really wanted to play Matty Cash, and thank God I didn't. I think he came off hurt too.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but yeah, so that was earlier in the week. All right, let's jump into this weekend because we have to. Otherwise, I would just really not want to talk about it. Villa gets Arsenal on Saturday morning. So we got the Burnley Brighton match and the Newcastle Southampton match at the same time. So that was cool. This punchy Newcastle team apparently wants to attack now. Before we get there, let's see. Burnley. Yeah, this was the Goodmanson game. A lot of roster baiting over that in the FSI chat, whether or not people wanted to play Goodmanson. It turned out to be the right thing to do. Lewis Dunk, I think, got a mention on Gator's video, but like as a negative thing because he wasn't worth that much more than the Burnley center backs. So, of course, Lewis had to go make Gator look dumb and score. Got that Pascal Gross assist, though. That was another talking point going into this weekend. We'll get into that in a little bit because I know there's a reason to. All right, Newcastle, this was wild. James Ward-Prowse went off, which, like, you know me, I love JWP. He's one of my favorite players in the entire world. Like, I just really enjoy how much of a sniper he is as a free kick taker. But he hadn't getting much work, so I didn't go to him. St. Maximin was cheap. He got the double assist. That was great. Joe Willock was mega cheap, and he got that goal. And of course he did. This was an own goal originally from our boy Bednarak, and they changed that. So all of a sudden Almiron made a big difference in GPPs because of that second goal. Minamino scores, which he was another talking point. Like there was a way to get to him, but you never knew what he was going to do here in the first match. Of course he scores. Bertrand gets the assist.
Love seeing these transfer guys get their chance to shine, and we'll see if anyone else comes out of the woodwork here. Maybe DeAndre, now he's at Galatasaray, will do something with himself. But right, these guys, I'm good for that.
And then did you play Lingard earlier in the week? Speaking of the transfer guys, in anything?
Earlier in the week, no. This weekend I gave him a shot, but yeah, and during the week I didn't.
Yeah, I gave him a thought earlier in the week because his price point was so low that I was like, this dude hasn't played in so long. And of course he scores a brace. So,
right.
All right, this is still Saturday. We get a 0-0. There's that violent conduct from Tommy Suchek, that harsh people's elbow that he threw. Nothing here immediately because there were no goals. Really quick, I'm glad Josh Maja is back. He was a very promising England striker for Sunderland, and then he went to Bordeaux. Actually, while I was working for Bordeaux, can't pronounce it. So I got to tweet out his loan announcement. That was actually kind of funny. But Lookman, I mentioned Lookman before. He went off. So even a 0-0 game. We'll get back to that. This one blew up quick.
Cavani
from Rashford, and then of course Bruno gets on the action from Wan-Bissaka. This was a nice mix of guys you definitely want in cash, and then guys who make sense in GPPs, or I don't know. I guess there's only 3 buckets where you either want them or you don't. But Wan-Bissaka was on the opposite side of Shaw. You weren't going to play both fullbacks, especially at that price, so that's kind of worthless. But kind of match Shaw. You get some Hamas, you get some Decore, who I play a lot at 3,400 in showdowns, and of course he popped off and I didn't play him. And then you get the finisher from DCL to win it, or to draw level.
Oh
I
man,
can
that's Tilt City, baby. That was that. I mean, not for me personally. I'm
right.
happy that it did, especially because got to see Harry Maguire just blow that coverage there at the end.
Yeah, he whiffed. Bless
Good
up.
luck, buddy.
You're not a
Yeah,
hairy guy, huh?
he's annoying, and I see him mess up enough. So it's like it's less annoying more than it is like. Let me say, if I was a United guy, I would be a Harry hater, full through and through.
I think Chris Schmidt is not a big hairy guy.
Right.
Also, Chris Schmidt says it's time to move to Dean Henderson, which it done time, but
Yeah.
you're paying the heck quite enough. All right, let's get into. So I was all over the place. My lineups are all going to look different. So the one I won was one where I kept. This was my cash lineup at lock. It was the only one because of one reason or another. Um, it was the only one to stay intact. We'll see why in a second. But I went with Gross. I know the guys on the RotoWire pod. Can't remember if it was both saying that they didn't want Pascal Gross, but there was a conversation, and it basically got to like, you don't want him. I think that was more layered than Jordan, but I could be forgetting. It doesn't matter. I played him. We liked him over at FSI, and he did get there. Like even without assist, he got there. But because there was so much other scoring on the slate, it was fine.
Yeah, I was glad he got that assistant ultimately because like that was I was like I'm gonna be really bad if you just like down to 10 points is 10 points, but right, I missed on almost everything else.
Right, like I still ended up needing more. So here's where I actually have Lookman, 9 crosses, 5 shots, like more than I thought you'd get out of Fulham. I thought West Ham would at least score in that one. Bruno was pretty obvious. Maybe not obvious. Maybe that's not the word because he's so expensive, but seemed like a fair play. Like my lineup wasn't bad. Pope didn't get the kind of action I thought he would or a clean sheet, but whatever. But like the rest of it, I'd take 6.62 from Tark every day. Shaw got there. Bertrand got an assist. St. Maximin got, like I got lucky in a lot of places. These aren't guys who are putting up huge numbers with their floors necessarily.
That St. Maximin one, I was biting my nails all day long about that just because waiting and hoping that I mean I don't know why I didn't. I was just wanted to make sure that United would make up for what was for that because I got Goodmanson and that was great, but I was like, oh man, that's just like if I missed out on that one.
Right.
So I don't know who would have thought Newcastle, like you said.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, he was underpriced, but I guess his floor there still with 3 Tron files. I mean, it was still okay, but no, it's not. I forget what the scoring is sometimes when I'm looking at it. And I keep saying 3 in my head for an assist, and that's not what it is. So, given everything, all the assists that I got, like my floors weren't tremendous, but other than Lookman, it came down to Lookman and Bertrand against Bowen and just I think Loftus Cheek or like any amount of punt, and I like Bertrand more to break. I mean, obviously we don't like Bowen on this show, but so I was glad I went to Woodman. But so I ended up trailing in a lot of my other head-to-heads. So I came off this lineup a lot. I went to this a lot in GPPs. Oh, so this is Jordan Cooper. This is Blender. He got the Willett goal, which automatically I was behind the 8 ball. He got James Ward-Prowse, who went off. So like I'm automatically playing from behind here. I knew he was going to go Bruno and Shaw. When he was up big, he might as well. And I'm sure he was up big in everything that he played because I mean that's a low owned goal. That's a cheap goal. And then I can't imagine JWP was 2 owned. So I mean he already nailed it off the book. The fact that he got a lot Lookman too. He got 8 out of Vidra, which like there was no way. There's no way I was coming back in this one. It might be close to the nuts. I mean, I can't think of what would have made this lineup a whole lot better. Like St. Maximin instead of I don't see a way that you can make that happen.
Yeah, I don't unless he happened to go Goodmanson, like that would have been. I think that would.
Yeah, instead of Vidra. I think that's like the only way he could have had a better lineup. I think. Well, then, who was cheaper than Pope?
It was Olsen, and he went negative.
Olsen,
so.
right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like there might have been, were there any, no, I don't think any of the goalies really put much up. I didn't see it. What do we got? We got everyone played Poe. So yeah, so I wound up, I went to Antonio thinking West Ham would score and knowing he has a lot of shares of goals. And I was just hoping to pull myself back a level to like have an idea of maybe being able to go Rashford, Greenwood in the last one and get different. Like maybe I'd be close enough to where I play one of Bruno or Shaw, depending on what my other options are. But when Antonio blanked, I was so far behind. I just went double punt. I couldn't get to Cavani, whatever. So Blender whooped my ass again. It's funny, this weekend on his Theory of DFS podcast, he was talking to I think it was a poker, it wasn't a poker player, it was a chess player playing online chess, and he does something called mook farming, which is essentially seeking out the worst players and exploiting them. And so I was sitting.
Think of a nicer name for that. Come on. Oh,
that's what it is in chess, but it's, well, I guess what Blender was saying was bum hunting, which is, I think that's the poker term. So, but it's funny. I'm listening to this. I'm like, this is a really good idea. And then like, Blender picks up my head-to-heads every week, and then like in the show, he's like, if I see someone that I don't recognize or someone I think that's not good, I'll pick it up. And then later, luckily, he said, or if I just need to get to my cat, like if I'm not getting to my cash allotment, I'll pick you up. And he generally picks me up later. So I was sitting there and I was like, so is Blender, is he hunting me? Or is he just filling out his cash? And I was like, it's probably both. Like, I looked recently and we're not too far apart in our head-to-heads. I think he was up like $2 on me, which is funny because we normally play like 5 and 10s. But I was like, he knows he's better than me. Is he seeking me out because he knows I like playing him? And like we talk about him more than anyone else on this show just because he's a sharp, and that's the point of this show. So it was just funny. I was like having a mental breakdown in my commute on my way home while listening to him talk about playing bad people. I was like, should I reach out? Jordan, if you're actually watching this, because you do, because it's very nice of you, you can be honest with me. Tell me if you're bum hunting me. I won't take offense to it. All right, last one. We spent.
He's doing it. He's doing it to get good content for the show. He's don't worry about it. I'm sure
he's doing it for me. He's doing it for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Blender. Thanks, buddy. All right. So, this is Emo, my guy who also we're paying the rake because he plays. McNeil went off, great pick. Bowen didn't do much. It did a lot worse than Lookman. Again, I'm behind because he's got Willock and St. Max, and then he could just play. I mean, this is the optimal play from there on out. Like, there's not a whole lot to it. I went Cavani because I could get him here, and I needed a full-blown punt. I was behind more to Emu than I was to Blender. So there's me getting my butt kicked. Any other thoughts on Saturday?
Nothing. Yeah.
What did
ready to move on?
Yeah. yeah.
In general. Well, I guess that's because I did win my double up that day. So I just don't like to think about the past. It's whatever. It's all gone now. No, man, I'm in the future. I'm 10 years ahead, baby.
What was your biggest proud moment, I guess? What was your biggest regret?
Goodmanson's the big one for me. If he went anything but negative, I probably would have been happy with that one. I mean, I don't know if I would have won anything, but that was a good one for me. Biggest regret was I was rolling and I was like going back and forth in that utility spot, had about like 5,000 something left over, and I was just like, man, I'm not like, I knew what I was doing rolling Lingard there.
Oh, right. Yeah, we talked about that. That's right.
Yeah, but I think I could have fit in like Gylfi. And
oh yeah, he was like 5 flat, wasn't he? He was close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember.
He would have fit right in there, and I was just like, nah, I don't need him.
But like Gylfi with Hamas on the pitch, like,
yeah,
you don't love playing him.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure because maybe that was later or early in the week I was doing that.
I think that was a different Everton slate. I think he was more expensive here.
Okay.
But Calvert-Lewin was 6'7".
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I think it was like it was more Saint Maximin. I could have got Saint Maximin than there,
oh yeah. That's the one we talked
and
about. But
not that I necessarily would have even like thought of that, but
right,
yeah, that was a. But I didn't worry about it because I actually made bank that day
nice.
for me.
Let's see. So I was proud that I went with the Bertrand Lookman, even though I didn't stick with it for the most part. And St. Max, like I had a lot of decent calls. My biggest regret was Antonio, and I think, but like on a larger scale, I think my biggest regret was not like game stacking United Everton and like just saying I think West Ham will score and I think it will be Antonio. Like that wasn't necessarily a smart move. And I think just later in the day when I'm late swapping and already feeling like overwhelmed, like I was rushing up until the lock of that noon 30 game because I had so many, like I have tickets, I have the 11:30 showdown, I have head-to-heads that I got to go through one by one and be like, how far back am I? Yada yada yada. So I think I spread myself too thin, and I made some pretty negative EV decisions.
That Antonio, I saw a lot of Antonio. I was really surprised by that because it seems like, from what I understand, it seems pretty counterintuitive to put him in cash, but that's people had him, and like I get why you could think it would happen, but he was pretty expensive for
right.
a guy who hasn't had a whole lot of success before.
Well, yeah, you just don't know like if it was a late swap to catch up though.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Depending on where they were, like you have to think game by game and like what each could be at lock. So like when I'm seeing Willock and St. Maximin in the same lineup, I'm like I'm already playing from the back. So I probably should have waited, but
yeah, it's easy for me to say though because I was just sitting there with Johan, like I figured that one out. All right.
Cheap one. You got your cheapie. All right. Spurs actually won today, which is cool. They beat mighty West Brom. What we got? Okay. So I saw this coming today. Nothing in Wolverhampton and Leicester. I don't know that anyone was particularly good. Johnny Otto was the perfect punt play at 2,600 playing wing because he was hurt. Traore. Traore had a nice day from this. I think Moutinho actually got there too, which I've been trashing him enough. This is the big one.
If you real quick about Leicester, I like Justin was like 4-7, and he sort of the clean sheet definitely helped him out. But if you were looking for on the cheaper side guy, that worked out for you. Didn't really work out for me, but.
So the thing that happened there for me is I was on Justin for a second, like in my build, but when he's on the left, he's not as effective. He was on the left last match, and I almost played him, and then he scored. I wasn't going to consider that into his floor, obviously. And Ricardo Pereira at right back, like he's one of the better right backs in the Premier League when he's fully healthy. I don't know that he is from a DFS standpoint. I don't think he's much of a crosser, but like he advances the ball and he plays great defense from what I remember. So I think I rolled him out in a couple of spots, definitely in Showdown. So City beats Liverpool 4-1. Reinforcing the fact that we think they're going to win the league. That certainly got them closer. Liverpool's not themselves. So I thought this was going to be 0-0 as well. Like I think we already talked about it in the opening, but like I didn't think this was going to be a big scoring match, and it wasn't until the second half, and then all of a sudden we get a run of scoring. So Foden, Sterling, Silva, Foden, Gundogan. Basically, like I feel like if you didn't have Gundogan today, you probably didn't cash. Depending on his exposure and the amount of people that actually got to him. The other one was Foden, who was priced fine. I just didn't think anything was going to go off in this game. So I didn't get to him. I know a lot of people did. A lot of smart people did. And then Salah gets them. If you played Salah today, like, you must be a Liverpool fan. I don't know. He was expensive. But play pen takers, as we learned in this one. Jorginho gets one, like we talked about. I stacked Chelsea. We'll get to now, Mount Werner. I had Hudson Odoi in every lineup because he's played every game that Tuchel's been in charge, and he was projected in the starting lineup. He's got a decent floor, and I actually played he and Werner because both had really solid prices. It was Sheffield. Also, I played Edouard Mendy because it's Sheffield, and they weren't going to score unless Antonio Rudiger scores for them. So I double punted. It didn't do much for me. Mendy still gets the win, had a decent day. Azpilicueta was where I was forced to go because I wasn't going to play McGoldrick, then I had to get to Giroux, and I already had Mount. Like I had everyone worth anything here. Like I was so far back here that I think I went Reece James in my normal lineup with Hudson Odoi, and I just didn't have pivots figured out. I didn't think about that. I didn't put a ton of money into today because my mind has not been here this weekend. So I didn't take the extra time to consider the pivots, which is something you definitely have to do on these late swaps. And I didn't. So this K. Falik, one of the better players. This is a really cashy lineup, and it went off. I mean, fading Madison's really the only thing here, but like great cash play, great cash play, great cash play, cheap, very underpriced. Got the high ownership, decent pay up keeper or pay up relative on the slate. Sure, with Joel, Johnny, like he was the cash guy. Like this is going into the day. If you would have said this is the line that's going to win, I would have been like, yeah, that totally makes sense. So it did.
Yeah.
But
did you run Ramsdale today?
No, I went Mendy.
Mendy, that's right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's just funny looking at Ramsdale. He kind of has the sheet of like Ederson when he gets scored on or something like that. Like no saves.
Yeah, he sucks.
I don't know how he didn't have any saves. They were only like scored 2 goals on them.
He's bad.
Well, yeah.
He's like statistically, he's really bad. Like he's not a good shot stopper, nor is Pickford. I think we talked about this a little before, but he's just not good. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's a difference between Dean Henderson, who was like the top of that shot blocking list that I sent you or told you about last week. He's like third, I think, between Lloris and Pope. And so you got Dean Henderson, then you drop into the negatives for Ramsdale. He's like below replacement quality as a shot stopper. So when you're a team who doesn't score, like Sheffield, that's how you end up being here. Like I know it's more than a keeper. Like even the fullbacks aren't doing anything. The Baldock, Stevens wingbacks who were just a beaut to play last year in DFS. Like I plugged Baldock in every single time I could, except when he was the most expensive fullback on the slate most of the days. Like if Sheffield played because they were good. But anyway.
Yeah, that's right. That seems like a long time ago now.
Yeah.
Right? Real quick, I want to fact check you because you left out the little guy here. Johnstone has the most saves in the EPL this season, I think.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I think it's some like 85 saves, which is funny considering that they have 50 goals allowed.
Right.
He's just bringing it on all the time.
This was X goals minus actual goals conceded. So it's like taking into account quality of shot.
But, I don't know about any of that.
Yeah. It's all fake. So Reece James actually underperformed Chilwell, so Falik's line was
cool.
Even better in that sense. Jordan's cool. Quagmire got the Jorginho punt. Like it's not a bad punt to punt Jorginho because he gets a penalty every freaking time he scores. You want to talk about Tilt City? That guy. I did. I talked about him in the opener. So yeah, Traore, decent cash play. Werner underpriced. Mount you had to play him. Madison you went there and he got there. And yeah, I mean again, this is a pretty cashy lineup. In retrospect, I don't think Mendy was a great play, but I played him. I thought he was gonna get. I thought he was gonna do the job. All right, here's our boy from FSI. He went solid. All right. Hey, rock on. He got the goal. Otherwise, yeah.
Oh, Christensen's that I was trying to figure out where he punted here. I guess it's kind of it's like semi-Werner, Johnny, and Christensen. Yeah.
All right, let's see what the GOAT did. Of course, he had Neto and Traore, who both put up decent days on team no goals. Mount, Madison. He went Justin. Justin did just fine. Johnny, he went Ramsdale. Yeah, that's rock on. I think he got paid out here. All right, so that's the head-to-head. Let's see what Piano Club did. Piano Club is a very good GPP player. He went Jose, Allison. Okay. All right, so here is a head-to-head that I actually wanted. Did this actually pay out? Yeah, it did. All right.
Nice.
Slate just paid out.
Nice.
Again, like I locked myself into a bad Chelsea stack. Not a ton more to get into with me, but I won this one because Ramsdale was so bad.
Right.
The double city punt here. Mahrez didn't do anything because Mahrez is worthless. Neto, Mount Madison. All right, so let's look at someone who actually beat me by quite a bit.
Oof. Damn, man.
If you got to Gundogan, sorry I keep moving this around. If you got to Gundogan, great. Like,
yeah,
the Wolves stacking cash is interesting.
That's a lot of yellow. Yeah, that's crazy.
All
Good
right.
for you, man. Yeah.
I'm not gonna rip on him. I've been going into some of these and be like, that's a bad cash lineup. It's not the most conservative cash lineup. Fading Mason Mount was a choice.
Yeah.
But I've done it.
Right.
Hey, whatever.
Man, this is so funny. Yeah, this huge block of it never would have.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought of this.
No.
It was a 0-0 game. Like, they didn't score any goals, and that's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is. I didn't realize that Traore was that good too. It's funny they have like
right.
all that goodness coming in, and right. Nothing came out of it.
And Johnny would have had 3 more points if he went 15 more minutes.
Damn shame.
Yeah. Well, nice show. I am not going to let you see my roto tracker. Well, I almost did anyway. I will prevent myself that embarrassment. Yeah. I think at the end of these, I generally kind of assess whether or not the slate was just weird. And I think generally they've been weird. And I've just been like, variance. I made some mistakes this week. And I lost a lot of money. There are a lot of negative EV plays, and that's the way she goes. I really wish I would have looked more into that Chelsea situation today. Yesterday, like the Willock goal, word problem. Like, I'm not mad. Yesterday didn't have me tilting. Yesterday had me scrambling. Yesterday I was playing from behind, and I probably overreacted a little bit, but the 0-0 West Ham game really killed me. I don't know, I don't know how I could have realistically overcome some of those deficits that I had by not playing Willock and James Ward-Prowse, because I wasn't anywhere near them. I wasn't anywhere near either of them. I guess, like, if I would have found a way to Cavani, but I don't think I had that availability at forward. Like, I think that's the only way. No, because I played Lookman. I had someone else there in that spot. But I wasn't waiting for a forward from that game. The only way I would have had a forward spot is if I made room for Hamas. And I didn't plan on it because they were playing United. And I didn't expect that necessarily to be 3-3. I thought it would be 3-0 or 3-1.
2-1 something. Not a full 3-3. Way it goes, man.
My boy got me. But yeah, today was rough. Today was bad. And I thought the first 2 matches would be 0-0. Or something. I thought maybe Leicester would score and like I would concede a Nacho goal, or like maybe Madison would get it, or whatever.
You were so close. You were 75% of the way to being right on that one.
Yeah.
In terms of halves.
Yes, right.
It was good there, and I thought, okay, time for a nap. So I need to watch the second half of this game.
Even when it was 1-0, like once Gundo put that first one in, I still felt like I was like, yeah, Chelsea can get 2 and I can still win this, like 2-0. But the moment I saw that Rudiger own goal, I was like, yeah, that's my weekend. Like, there's no other way. That's the only way it could have gone. Like, I couldn't even if I would have got if I would have got the Mendy clean sheet, I still would have trailed this one. I don't know. I think it would have been a little different, but way she goes. It was a rough one.
Yeah. I realized, like, I correct me if I'm wrong, but this is sort of like this whole thing, just constructing lineups is like kind of like a parlay bet, in a way. And I realized that's why I am just like stressed out constantly doing this, because the concept of parlay bets is just like freaks me out so much to get that right. I remember watching like Uncut Gems for the first time a couple of years back, and I was like, I'm never going to do this ever. Oh my God, I could never pick what happens one game or the other. And Garnett. It turns out I kind of can't, but it's at least fun this way.
Garnett gets the tip.
Yeah, right. Yeah, at least I don't have to, call that sort of stuff.
That was my favorite part of those parlays he was doing. It was like, 15 rebounds. Like, statistically, you can project that or like figure it into over-unders or anything like that. and I think it was like points and rebounds, but he bet Garnett wins the tip on like all of his bets, and I love that. Like, I wonder what his actual percentages of winning tips were. But yeah, no, it's exactly that. It is a parlay bet, and you're betting on some ways. You're betting on props, like Garnett wins the tip, like X to score or something like that.
Yeah.
And other ways you're betting on teams.
Yeah,
it's literally exactly how you're supposed to think of it.
yeah.
And I know you're playing the stock market too, and it's the same thing.
I mean, at least that's like there's like some guy is not just gonna fall on his face and that's gonna allow for like like something to go on a 10-point run or whatever.
Yeah, that's more in the case of like if you're making multiple lineups, like how much exposure you want for a guy. That's where the stock part is. But yeah, it's pretty legit a parlay bet. That's the only way to win a GPP. Like, that's definitely a parlay bet. Like, you have to guess this guy is gonna do X assisted by X. This guy's gonna get the clean sheet, and then you have to just get really lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think my thing with the GPPs especially is like I can like if you give me infinite money, infinite lineups, I could find some that work, but it's like I'm not gonna make it profitable, and like the amount I get to guess is just not. I don't know. I can't guess with men.
You gotta lose a lot to get there. Yeah. Man, my first couple months, my first 6 months, I mean, it was just like mostly this, but like every now and then you get an upset. You still lose most of the time. Like, that's I should did this weekend.
Well, we got to sort of a Buddhist place in the last couple episodes of just like accepting pain. Yeah, that's a big part of it, man.
That is a big part of it. And being able to deal with the downswings. I know we talked about it at some point. I've been struggling. I hit my high water mark a couple weeks back, like, and I'm way down. Like, I'm way down right now. So it's just the way she goes. I also have 20 tickets locked up for this Champions League thing, which.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
keep forgetting about it. I can't wait. That's where I really have fun.
Right. Yeah, you're good at that. I might have you make some of these lineups so we can share it.
When I throw like one of those ticket ones, I mean, yeah, but I didn't have a lot of success all the time. Don't count me in just yet.
I'm just not great with UCL. Like, I actually stopped playing the King of the Pitch ticket giveaways because I knew that the actual King of the Pitch was Champions League. And in retrospect, like, I was doing really poorly with the group stage when like you had lesser sides up against other sides, but now you're going to get like a lot of level playing fields relatively to that part, and I'm better in that regard because I can find floor guys and I can pivot and I can correlate and stuff generally, and I think I have a decent idea of these other teams in Europe because I pay attention to global soccer as opposed to just in England. Even though we do the EPL show, like, I feel like I have a little bit of an edge on the field in whole, like in a large field GBP and world football, but definitely not the Sharps.
I'm not as excited about this coming out because it's like the knockout stages are like a different. You're not playing for group placement anymore. You can't just like sit out a game because of this or that. It's like you have to win these two. And
well, yeah, the double legs. I think the double legs take a lot out of it. I think it's better in sorting out who the actual best teams are, but it's less exciting. Although, I mean, the run Spurs had was plenty exciting, and mostly because of the two legs. So
yeah,
because I can't get that excited.
Better times, man.
I locked myself in the bathroom at work to watch that. I think it was the Ajax match where Lucas scored because my boss was not cool. But I was just watching on my phone. I just ran and I hid in the bathroom. I think I let out a little shriek. Big boy stuff. All right, man. Another trip to Tilt City in the books.
Yeah.
For real this time. For real. Any Super Bowl pick tonight?
I don't want to say it because I don't like him, but Thomas Solidarity.
I was going to ask you where he fell on the Thomas scale.
Is there another Thomas somewhere? Or are you saying Tom Brady shouldn't count?
No, I was going to ask you like where you ranked him among the Tommies.
Oh, he's on the lower end. That's a project I'd have to put together. It's a begrudging respect. It's a respect of someone who spent all like the 2000s just watching him win and win and win. And I'm sick of it, but it's Thomas excellence. You know, I can't knock it.
So, yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win, but
Okay.
Brady, like, I don't like him either, but yeah, he won a ton in New England and he could just win and win and win. But if he's able to just walk into this situation in Tampa where they were awful last year and win another Super Bowl, like, he's the best. He's the best ever. And that's fine. I appreciate greatness. I dislike him from a rooting standpoint. I'm not so sure on him as a person either, but I'm not going to project those sorts of thoughts. But we know
he loves his son.
He does love his
son.
son. Yes. That's yes. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
He loves his son a lot.
Yes. Yeah. I've been told he has serial killer eyes as well.
Kind of. He looks like an 80s bully. If he had been an actor in the 80s, he would have been the guy on the ski slopes who's trying to take you down.
Well, what's Christian Bale in American Psycho? That's kind of vibe.
Yeah. I think he did. That's true. He did have like the longer hair in the 2000s a bit. Now that I think about it, he is sort of like a Bateman thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's those psychos, man. You know how that works out in sports. Sometimes they're weird on the teams, but sometimes they have a lot of success, and he's the latter camp.
Yeah, him throwing to Aaron Hernandez is an interesting proposition.
Yeah, but I should say I have no idea otherwise about these teams. I'm just doing the Thomas thing.
Yeah, right. We talk this football. There's a reason for it. I don't pay attention to Big Ten football. All right, well, we tilted. We tilted. And we'll get him next week.
Yeah, whatever, man. I'm living in. I'm past the next week. I'm so far in the future. I'm thinking about next season.
You're in 2031, huh?
I'm 2031, man.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you there. Hopefully, we can move from Tilt City. Until next time, I'm Alex. That's Tom.